We should be live in a few seconds, or now. YouTube's always confusing.
Showtime.
Is it going? I can never tell. Alright, I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. Crap, we've been live for 10 seconds. Awkward. Okay, guys. Hello. This is the once monthly PolyKnight Games Knights of the Roundtable stream, or something like that. I'm Tawi Tomasewski, the director, I guess, but mostly just programmer for Interspace. We're going to try to show you guys a bunch of stuff we've been working on. I am joined by a bunch of our favorite people. Let's see if I can show them. All of our favorite people in a lovely Hangout chat. And
Hello.
yeah, feel free to pipe in anyone and everyone. We're here to talk to you guys and show you guys what we're up to. And I'm looking forward to just going through what we've been working on. We've had a really crazy month, actually. So we are bringing on a new programmer, a new 3D modeler. Eric Grossman moved to Pittsburgh, or a designer. I'm joined by Steve Zapata, our 3D artist. He's in the room over there. And I'm also joined by Eric Grossman, who's in the Hangout call and also in Pittsburgh now instead of the West Coast. How you doing, Eric? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
And then everyone else in the stream. We're all lovely. If you guys want to say hi, go for it.
Hello, I'm Melina. I'm a backer who's very interested in this. Make sure this keeps going.
Alina's the best. Oh, that's right, I wanted to pull up. Keep going, guys. Sorry. Alina actually made what you made it was for a GTA, right? You made like a little like you reminded us that you made our first fan art. Like
I when was it that was like a higher level tier of the Kickstarter could get into this forum, and I thought it'd be fun to play a game. So, do we have GTA? Nobody else has Grand Theft Auto.
I have it. I have it on PS4, but I only got it recently actually. Here, there it is. It's like the plane with guns for wings. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then also, so Steve's going to be 3D sculpting, and then Eric Grossman's going to be drawing something during the stream. We've had quite a few suggestions. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. Do you guys just want to sculpt whatever? Or I don't know if anyone has requests. It looks like Steve already started something, so...
I'm just doing whatever. Like, I wanted to test something out.
What did Steve start?
I don't know.
That's cheating.
Here, Steve, share your screen.
I am.
Oh, you are? Oh, cool.
Oh, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No, you're not.
Oh, no, I thought I was.
You're not sharing your screen. What are you sculpting?
No, I am. I thought I was. Sorry,
Come on,
guys.
buddy. There you go.
That looks like a boot. Wait,
There's-
I missed. Oh, no, it looks like a thing.
Are you remaking the Serpent Shrine?
No, it looks like a scroll case or something. Maybe it's like a key. Maybe it's like a mail key. Like a mailbox key.
I have no clue. Regardless,
Looks like a column.
let's get
Ooh,
this
that
rolling.
radial symmetry. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
good.
nice. Yes.
So, what we wanted to go over with you guys actually, one of the things we've been talking a lot on the Kickstarter blog, but also, and let me make sure the Hangout, I'm sharing my screen, I don't think I am. Okay, let's do that. Let's do share screen. Cool. All right. One of the things we've been working on a lot recently is the one of the demigods for the game. It's a big old crab, but it's not a lot of a crab as of recently. It's actually much more of a crabfish thing. I don't know, what are we calling it now, guys?
Crabfish, base god.
Carbohydrate.
Oh, cuttlefish.
Aww. Oh, cuttlefish.
Mountain tuna.
Covered in mountain.
Well, before it was always called a crabo, not.
Yeah, we've been calling it crabo, like crabo, like that.
Carbohydrate.
Carbohydrate, like a carbohydrate.
Carbohydrate.
So,
That's
So-
your goal.
Very good.
I think we actually in the forum need to start a chat, maybe get anyone involved and just coming up with a list of names. Obviously we're gonna have to end with something a little bit artsier, a little bit more geared towards kind of the expressive nature of the game. But as far as game files and what the developers are calling it, that's.
Oh, hello. Have we lost you?
Oh, we did? Oh no.
Oh no, there you are. Sorry, just went
Okay.
silent for a
There
second.
we go. We're good. Okay, yeah. So what I wanted to go over was actually a fair amount of where the crab world is at, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of our design philosophies on that. We've actually been on this month, like I said, we've had a really crazy month between getting some new people on the team, people moving. Also, we've been working on something entirely different for a lot of the month, but that's something I think I'm going to save for the next stream and focus on the crab world this time. But still, I think there's a lot to show here we didn't get to talk about last time. And yeah, I'll kind of jump into it. And then feel free to pipe up with any questions you guys have throughout. Again, I'm going to try to keep it going as much as possible, just so it stays interesting. But feel free to interrupt me, and feel free to ask questions. And then, of course, occasionally I'm going to hop over to whatever Eric Grossman and Steve.
Oh wait, we're not. I just draw whatever I want. That's it.
Yeah, draw whatever you want, I guess.
Oh, I missed your memo. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
just been sitting here stupidly with my hands in my lap,
Oh,
just not trying anything. I'm just
get the
throw
drawing.
hardest. Yeah, gotta crack that whip. All right.
I'm keeping an eye on the YouTube channel for questions. I actually have a question of my own, actually.
shoot, what's up?
Okay, so last stream, you just moved into your office. You've been there 1 month.
Yes, we
What's
have.
it like?
Oh man, it's actually it's because we're getting more people in here too. It's actually starting to feel a lot smaller. At first, it was huge and like so much space. Now it's getting a little tight, just because we're actually filling out all the spaces. But we really love it. There's things that would take us like a week to get done before, just because communicating through text and trying to schedule video calls and all that. Now you can just take off your headset, lean over, and then just ask someone a question, which like is kind of weird. Because the last time we had that was back before our Kickstarter. So I mean, we've been working for our own houses for a while, for the last 2 years really. But before that, like the 6 months leading into the Kickstarter, everyone had their desktops set up in my bedroom, which was like really comfy. But I'd like wake up every morning to just like clacking on the keyboard, and it kind of has that feeling of like when we first really started off. So it feels homey, I guess. It's like we're growing up and getting this like awesome, like we have room and it's like our little studio, but at the same time, it feels a lot more like when we first started. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how. Like Eric Grossman doesn't know how it feels.
Yeah, I don't know how it feels.
Over in Pittsburgh.
Kind of up, but yeah.
I don't know, Steve. How's it feel for you? You're gonna have to yell because of the mic, but
Yeah, it's good.
it's good.
It's good.
Just good.
It's good.
It feels good. We work just as hard. I think it's just kind of weird because we work just as hard, but not in our own houses. So I think we're also kind of realizing just how much time we're not spending messing around. Like, because before, like, I was Eric Grossman. You probably feel that. Like, I was always in my bedroom, and it always just kind of felt like I just wasn't doing much. But now, like, I'm never at my house, and I'm always in the office, and it feels more. I don't know, like I'm working myself to death.
Still looks
Good
like you've got
feeling.
pillows behind you.
Huh?
Looks like you've got pillows behind you.
Yeah, I do have a pillow behind me. It's actually for, I don't think my wire's line up. All right, I'm going to go back there anyways. It's my pillow. Oh, no. Every time. Yeah, we just built a new computer, too, with the new Intel Skylake CPU and a 960. Yeah, this chair is a little short, so I get a pillow to put my elbow on because I'm getting discoloration on my elbow from leaning on them too much. So, and sleeping in the office. Actually, I haven't done. Have you slept in the office yet?
Once.
Once? Okay, we've got one sleep in the office. Did you?
Sorry, the YouTube link's a little bit laggy for speaking in Hangouts. I've just seen you knock over your thing. Sorry.
Oh. Oh, I get it now. Delayed joke. It's okay. It's gonna be funny. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna spend some time talking about the hub world. I'm gonna hop into that. And again, feel free to ask more questions. Always. We're here to talk to you guys. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do whatever, man. Oh gosh. All right. Hopping back into it though. I'm just still trying to get good with my OBS. So this is the crab world we've been working on. I'm actually going to spawn a nice little tool that I've got really quick. I've been working on a little bit of usability this month too, alongside some like automation for our builds. One of the things I'm really excited about, actually, I just finished something, or I'm in the process of finishing something that's going to automate me uploading everything to Steam. So whenever we get around to sending out like beta keys and stuff, that's going to be really fast. And I don't know if we're gonna do it for the Kickstarter, but we might look into bringing in some of the backers into beta testing, but that's still kind of in the air. But if we do any form of like beta testing that's outside of people we are directly working with, that's definitely going to be something that happens. But let's see, editor view. I should have had all this ready. There we go. All right, cool. Now I can look at the world a lot better. Yeah, cool. Much better. All right, cool. So this is the world we've been working on. Or, oh goodness. Here. Okay, so this is the world we've been working on. Oh no. Sorry. I need my tool to work here. There we go.
Quite grey, isn't it?
Yeah, the so there's the fog on right now. Turn that off. It helps a little bit. Also, just this is the scene preview, so there's not going to be any post effects on it. Most games that are as colorful as ours, there's a lot of like kind of toning for the space that kind of happens. Not like color correction, but just general like not color correction. I'm not sure what to call it. But
It's like color grading.
color grading. We're still not doing color grading yet. Actually, almost all of the pretty colors in our game are actually it just looks that way. But it's also going to be partially because this is just kind of in a prototyping phase. That's missing a material. Regardless. So yeah, you'll see that there's. Oh, you know what? It's your fart.
First
colors,
goal
too.
of the game, try to break out of the world and get to that cuboid thing in the background.
Go for it, man. Just send me a message so I can fix it before you show it on the web. Just save me a little bit of struggle. But yeah, so you'll notice that we're going to this kind of two-toned feel here, where the top side of the world is so we have the top side of the world, which is red, and then the bottom side, which is purple. Although I guess with these planets, there's not really a top or bottom, but from this view, top and bottom, one's red, one's purple. And Eric Grossman's been working on trying to get the two to feel very different. So on the bottom, you'll see that the world is very, it's more like kind of stringy. Things are suspended in the air. And a lot of this is still in prototyping phase here, but you see that we have these like kind of suspended towers that are kind of floating around, and it's kind of got a more open air feel where you can kind of fly through gaps. And a lot of the build up, because the goal here is going to be to get towards the center here, is that a lot of the build up is kind of there's lots of entrances, so you could start in the bottom and work your way all the way around and up and through all of this. But there's also a lot of entrances that allow you to get inside of this if you look around enough to kind of take these shortcuts. But they're kind of weird angles that you're going to need to explore to find. And by contrast, on the top we have the red side of the planet that has a much more of a kind of canopy feel to it. It's much more covered. If the bottom has a kind of winding feel to it, the top has more of a kind of like Death Star trench run, kind of like larger tunnels and kind of build up to these open spaces. But there's still kind of this like phase of figuring out how to get into it. I guess I can actually just fly around it. I'll go ahead and do that. Steve, is the red canopy playable right now? Like, is that side of the planet playable?
Not really.
Not really? Like,
There's some stuff you can do there, but like a lot of
do I need to put the Pro Builder back on?
Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay. I might need you to show me where it's at real quick, actually.
It's just the prototype.
Thought I made thought I bundled them together for you.
Oh, I died already. Wow. I'm a pro. Oh, do we have a title card for the crap world? Cool. Oh yeah, we do. Look at that. Very cool. So cheats. So where's the prototype mesh, Steve? Is it just under the? Oh, I see. Where's the canopy in here? Oh, is it just still there? No.
No, it shouldn't be. Here, click on the Pro Builder stuff that is there, and you'll be able to find the rest of it.
Oop.
Yeah, so here, yeah, those guys.
Cool. Awesome. I actually just accidentally do a little bit of a bug in this space. There's actually I kind of already beat the level by accident. You kind of spawn right in the thing that you're trying to get to. So oh goodness. Oh, I know what's causing that too. Bugs everywhere. Not bugs. They're not bugs.
That's a really nice boom.
Yeah. We actually it's pretty old actually. It's been in the game for quite a while. Most of the things that are as old as that explosion have been replaced by now. As weird as that is, like it's kind of weird, like because we've learned so much in the process of this that like most things get replaced by the time they've been around for a year at some point in some way or another.
How did you die in the? Oh, sorry. I also there's a little like okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I've got a question. It's actually following on from a talk we had last month.
Mhm.
It's about the length of time for the respawn like cutscene.
Yeah.
And it's kind of. Have you continued your thoughts about that? Because it's almost like it's punishment for dying, but then again, how easily can you die in the game in towers? So.
I have thought.
What's up?
So
What?
Look, you wanna come over here so I can hear you.
You guys hear the question?
Oh, are you responding to the question, right, Steve?
Yeah, but I can't hear them.
Oh.
Let me know when I can talk. Oh, cool.
Yeah, just take my headset. We're good.
Okay, so I guess the thought that I'd had, because I know that it's definitely a concern. Like if you die a lot, and then like you have to watch, like sit and wait through that cutscene every single time. I thought it might actually be kind of cool if we tied the playback of the cutscene to the acceleration trigger, so that you can kind of like, accelerate the cutscene or just move through it more quickly. If you wanted to. Just a thought.
That'd be cool. Like a fun version of skipping.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you,
Yeah.
so like fast
So you can like,
forwards?
you kind of like slow it down a little bit maybe if you want to, just kind of throttle it. I thought it'd be fun.
Oh gosh. I mean, that'd be
That sounds
one
like-
way
that sounds
to
like
do it.
worms.
It's gonna feel a little like.
It sounds quite fun to me. I'm just watching what's happening right now. What is going on? Well, sorry, not right now. We've just left it. What was going on with the walls inside that tunnel just then? Is that a shader effect? Was that actually?
Yeah. So one of the things you'll notice, it looks a lot better. So when you look at the parts that are like actually kind of done, and it probably needs to be toned down a little bit maybe. But we kind of wanted to make the fungus in this world feel alive, so we kind of have this like gyrating kind of world space effect on the shaders. On the prototype mesh, because it's so low poly, it kind of makes it a little exaggerated, honestly. But yeah, so if this is the way it's supposed to look right here, even that's probably a little too big, but it's kind of our way of one of the ways that we've been approaching bringing the world to life recently is actually through shaders a lot, because animating a lot of things on the screen is not very performant. So like in the crab here, you'll see this is just a little testing for the crab spot, but you can kind of see how the fungus on it is kind of gyrating, or not gyrating, pulsing. Is probably the right phrase there. So
I don't know. That's for generated.
Some gyrating might be kind of fun too.
it's percolating.
Is Dougie?
It's no
Sorry.
stop. It's doing the dab.
Matt Torres on YouTube has just described them as big meaty walls. This is probably lag again though. So
Big walls, yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you'll also probably notice these little dinky-looking mushrooms here. We actually have a real version of those. They're just not placed in the game yet, so I'm going to show you what those actually look like in a few seconds here. If you guys follow my Twitter, you may have already seen them, actually. It's something I posted a while ago. So we'll get to that, but in a little bit. So whereas the purple side here, I'm trying to play the keyboard and mouse, which is really tough. It's much more tighter corridors with like kind of sharper turns. Which is more difficult, but one of the things is that there are a lot of shortcuts you can find. Going through the entirety of this is actually not very necessary, but it is very possible to do it from the start. Wait. I gotta try to get all these. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I got it. Okay, alright, don't die. Okay, we're good. And that goes to the center. So, and then also here you have a bit that you can destroy to unlock. But we're trying our best to kind of... in these two spaces, have a really kind of dramatically different feeling progression to them. So not only do they look different from the onset, color and even just spatially, but we're trying to kind of have the level flow in a very different way. The purple being more winding and kind of have a little bit more verticality to it, whereas the red has a lot more of a kind of open spaces. You may have noticed halfway through the red, I'll fly back there really quick. And of course, this is like a very prototypey phase like for this level, so yeah, the visuals are definitely in development still here. Spatially, it's a good prototype, but I assume everyone knows that. I think most people that are interested in these kind of streams, you guys are either involved in game development or like follow a lot of game development. So like in this one here, you notice there's a lot more larger chambers, and then it kind of leads into these large open spaces, like under the kind of stalk here, where you can actually not only just have these like big open spaces where you can kind of circle around more easily, there's also multiple approaches. Like there's a small tunnel that I just came in through that way. It's actually a waterway you can take this way too, if it's not. So there's multiple ways through here. Is this gonna be a membrane? Oh, that's one way. So we're also trying to do a little bit of like unique interactions for each of these worlds. So in this planet, we have two unique interactions, which are going to be what we call tendrils, which are kind of those little mushrooms that you saw me hitting, the privatite version of them. And then membranes, and membranes are like these one-way walls, where like on one side it's rigid and you collide with it, but from the other side, whenever you hit it, you can break through it, which kind of allows you to unlock shortcuts. So like when you get a little bit further through the level, Eric, do you know if there's any like white boxed membranes in here?
Yeah, you know the purple side?
Yeah, so
That little, there's like a little node. Like, once you get through a couple, like, once you're actually into the fungus, there's like a bulbous section with two white, with like a white door on the inside. That's a membrane.
it's from around here, isn't it? Oop.
There's a bit of lag on the stream, so.
Oh, okay. I should be sharing my screen in the Hangout too. Oh goodness.
No, you are, but it's about 5 frames from Hangout, whereas it's nice and smooth on the YouTube. So.
Yeah, that was the problem I ran into last time. Oh goodness, I'm dead. Regardless, I have some test scenes for those. I want to show you guys too, to go through what those interactions actually look like.
Yeah, those are really pretty. They're really cool.
I'll start with the tendrils actually. So the test hub. You can see just how many scenes we have here. Goodness. So this is actually one of my test scenes. So this isn't an actual planet. Judge
sorry.
me how you will. But yeah, so that's kind of the space we're working with. Whereas this is going to be one of the interactions here. So these are tendrils. You kind of hit these, and then once you destroy enough of them, So these are these are the tendrils right here. I'm going to kind of pause the play here. So if you like destroy multiple of them, they'll kind of accumulate into a larger effect. And like a more like I'm trying to think of like a Zelda interaction that does that, because everyone's played a 3D Zelda game, or at least I feel like everyone has, except for Eric.
I've played them.
Okay, good.
I just haven't beaten any of them. That's my problem.
But yeah, like in some of them, you'll have to go around and maybe like press multiple switches in a certain amount of time to like open a door. So these kind of in our own way for that interaction. But one of the things we've done with these is to try and really juice this interaction a lot. So it's very like we're using like a starburst, particle effects, a little bit of slow motion, just a tiny bit to get that kind of pseudo 51 kind of like nice ninja kind of feeling cut. Here, I'll go and do one of them. So, shing. So you get a nice little shing, a flash of light. The whole thing turns yellow, and there's just a lot of kind of. It's super fun. I should have spent like a few hours just running into these when I first made them. It just feels really nice to fly through these.
Wait, are they being cut off? Like, from the, yeah, they are. They're being cut off from the point where you hit.
Shaping the point.
Yeah, and then they'll actually stay that way. So the way I do it, which is actually a little bit of an optimization, is that you can cut the top, and then oh goodness, and then what happens is, oh, I'm not showing this off very well. Oh. Is if you cut it a little bit higher up, slowly it'll kind of fade down towards the bottom here, but it stays cut. But you do actually cut it at that specific point too. So there's a little bit of a lot of trickery going on there, right? It's not actually procedurally fracturing the geometry. We're using some shader tricks there to try and keep it as optimal as possible.
That's really cool.
Do this.
I didn't actually notice the cutting higher up before. It's really quite nice.
Yeah, lots of bloom, plenty of bloom.
So ninja. I just want a game about samurai planes now.
Dude, yeah, like at some point. I really want to do. We were talking about this the other day. I think it was Steve's idea. Is that I really want to do a chain of these, just like 30 of them in a row, and they all make a slightly different sound, and then it plays a little song when you cut through all of them.
Maybe they should all just be that way.
Yeah, I know, but if we like actually plotted out a string of them, to where it just being random, if it was like an intentional chain of like notes.
Yeah, but like, okay. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like I think it'd be cool if like that's kind of like just because they're always in a stream, like they're always like in a line towards something, right?
That's true. But yeah, so we kind of made this, and then as a product of that, we've kind of been editing a lot of the interactions we have up to this point and trying to make them feel a lot better. That's what I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, we've kind of changed our philosophy a little bit after making these and realizing how just kind of fun they were to run into. But yeah, and then let me show you guys the membranes real quick.
And actually, I haven't seen the membrane since I've been moving.
Oh, this is a very lo-fi test scene here. So yeah. this is like literally the membrane with a sphere. Goodness, where is it? Is it?
It's like a contact lens in the sky.
A little bit, yeah.
That's cool. It looks like an exploded view of actually like of a lens. That's kind of neat.
So so what happens is whenever the ignore these, but whenever the ball hits it, it kind of stretches with it and then dissipates, and then there's a particle effect that gets spawned.
Oh, nice.
So all those are obviously kind of prototype versions of this, but the goal here is that it's a one-way wall, and we still need to art it up. And we're going to use that to kind of create one-way barriers that the player can unlock, or the player, you guys, anyone, us, you guys, can unlock to enable shortcuts, because sometimes you get really far in a tower, really far in a tower, and kind of complete a long journey. And it would be kind of nice to be able to have unlockables that allow you to get into that space a little bit quicker in case there's something you missed there, instead of having to go through that whole journey again.
Kind of like Dark Souls. Don't say it.
Every game developer, including me, we adore Dark Souls. But yeah, so that's the membrane we're working on. So that's one of the things we're trying to do for each of these worlds, is that in the ice world, or this world, or even the hub world, the first one we made, I think we're calling it the Sun Chamber, we're trying really hard to have each of these planets have very unique interactions and mechanics that kind of make those spaces feel relatively new to explore. That's something that, I mean, I always go back to Zelda, but Zelda games do particularly well, where like you'll have a dungeon that, like in Majora's Mask, the Snow Temple is entirely about the flame arrow, and you use the flame arrow in about every way you could, and you use it a little bit later on, but for the most part, it's kind of just that temple or that dungeon is about that mechanic. Although ours isn't really quite that intense about it, we're trying our best to kind of have each space have its own little special thing that you get to explore, and like, oh, this is a new thing, and you can kind of explore that mechanic, but in that space, and then you need to go somewhere else, it's something new. And you kind of always keep your like overarching mechanics, like diving underwater, or let's do that. So you always keep your like overarching mechanics, like diving underwater, stalling the plane, the ability to cut things with your wings, but it's kind of just the variance that takes. So like in the ice world, there is no water, but we're probably going to use the dive to like allow you to like gain enough speed to like break through special things. And we might do that somewhere else, but I know that's something we've talked about a lot. So like we're trying to manipulate and change kind of the like typical flow of the game, so like each space feels really refreshing and new. That's something that we've kind of been thinking about a lot, be it like the actual spatial flow of the level or like something else, but we're trying our best to kind of like ingrain that thought into more things throughout the game recently. Oh, and I want to show you guys, yeah, that was the last thing I want to show you guys in the crab world, something a little bit prettier. Let's see here. So here we go. Cool. This is the reveal we've been working on for the crab. Oh goodness, I'm not even showing my screen. I'll have to refresh it. Sorry. So there we go. Awesome. Cool.
Quickly, get the link. Copy the link and see for ourselves. Oh, it's on your desktop. Oh.
Yeah, so this is the reveal we've been working on for the crab here. So the crab's actually wrapped around the center of the planet. You see his tail kind of unwind there, wiggles his way free. So what you actually do is the beginning of this world is kind of figuring out how to even unlock this boss fight. And this is obviously kind of a first pass animation on it, but it's kind of, you get the idea. We're actually also playing with using cutscenes a little bit more to do slightly more cinematic reveals to kind of show angles that like exaggerate the movements of things. But yeah, so that's the reveal for the crab fight we've been working on.
Looks great.
Nice. You can see I'm basically guessing the Zelda inspiration with that reveal, though.
Yeah, there's a very kind of. I don't remember which boss fight it reminds me of, but Metroid Prime has something. One of the reveals has that kind of like camera sweep to it. Maybe I'm thinking of Zelda, but
it makes it feel really nicely like video gamey. It makes it feel video gamey to me in the best way. Like it doesn't, it's not like this bold new cinematic approach to games. It's like a very kind of like, oh, like I know what this is feeling, which is cool because like so much of our game is weird.
Yeah. Like the way we tell stories, the way that we let players encounter the space. I believe Fork, a YouTuber, which is really great, had a really great take on it, which is that like we don't really hand the player like a really strong like direction to go in. It's kind of like here's a space, explore it.
Yeah.
And like this is one of those few cases where like you're like, oh, I know what this is. This is the cutscene before a boss fight. I'm in a boss fight, and that feels like kind of homey and comfortable and like something that's familiar. And I think that's like kind of nice because it gives you a nice prompt as like you understand that interaction and where you're at and what you're doing in the game a little bit better. Shadows of Colossus uses it whenever you like trigger the boss. You'll often get like a opening cinematic for it, kind of.
Yeah.
They might just be the first one. Actually, it's been so
No,
long since I've
they
played
all
the game.
But actually, that's the cool thing about it is like in a game that's so kind of open and ended, it's like it's reassuring to see that there's actually something going on here, that like the developers put stuff in place for you to do, or like that there's actually a structure to the game, and like the cutscene helps show, yeah, that like there's an intentional flow that you've kind of found. So I think it's kind of cool. It helps I don't know. It's neat. Like you said, basically it's kind of a prompt, but in like a feely way.
Yeah, Eric, just what you've been drawing. There you go. Ooh.
Sorry, that was quite funny. We had what was it? Tyler's on Eric's screen and Eric was on Steve's screen.
Are you drawing like a giant android statue, Eric?
No, I'm drawing like.
It's like Conti from FLCL, sort of.
Oh man, I can't. There are certain things that I can't get out of my head when I draw them, and FLCL, and like Appleseed, like different mecha things are them. This is like I've had this idea in my head for a long time about like what the ancients might have actually like worn, maybe in battle or something. So like this is like I don't know. I've had a lot of thoughts like about how certain machines could have been controlled and, you know, like what people could have worn and stuff like that. We haven't really explored a lot of the like low-level material culture in the game because just like the level of detail in the game doesn't really match it, but it's just kind of fun to draw and think about. So this is like if you see the statue in the hub world, this helmet is kind of like that, I guess. This isn't canon. I'm just drawing. Maybe not.
It's canon in my head now.
The canon. Okay.
In my head, canon.
I mean, I could give him a head canon.
It looks like something from Destiny.
What?
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah, it does look great, Destiny.
Well, Destiny art is really cool, but they stole something which I've been working on for a long time, which is merging like armor and like organic cloth, like fur materials. It's a very like it's a sci-fi that's very at home in like the Game of Thrones era because they're like, well, everyone likes fur cloaks these days. How about we just put Space Marines in fur cloaks? And
I'm
like,
thinking Space Marines. That's Space Wolves, isn't it?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but they don't. It's like that's like power armor with like
Oh, man.
a cloak like pinned to it. They're like, you know, all up in like in Destiny. Yeah, but that's the problem. Destiny's really cool art, but they took a lot of really cool like dynamic helmet like styles and stuff and just made it like their thing. So it's really hard for the concept artists these days. You know, you gotta like go weird places where you don't really want to go. Anyway. So yeah.
So yeah. Dude, like when I got Destiny, I was not in the mood to play a first-person game, but I'll be darned. I was really digging playing that game just to see all the armor sets because they were just so cool.
They're really cool.
I don't care if it was like let's throw fur on like Space Marines. I was super down for that because hell
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
like
they-
hell yeah.
They captured rule of cool. I mean, if you ever read the item descriptions, they're kind of the best item flavor text ever. They make 0 sense, but they're really cool. They just don't give, you know, they just don't have any reservations or anything about just pulling out all of the weird, like, sci-fi lingo that they can think of and, like, making it all mystical. So, yeah, I like, respect them. I'm a little miffed because they, again, took all, like, the easy concept art, like this angle for a helmet, right? Like something like this, you know? You got like a head. It looks kind of like a xenomorph, but like, anyway, this like kind of thing here, they kind of took that. I don't know. I don't play Journey, or I mean Destiny. I play Journey, but Anywho,
Hopefully everyone's played Journey.
yeah.
Like that should become a human right to play Destiny, like to play Journey. Like it should be a God-given right. Like
Yeah. Well, I haven't played Abzu though. I'm interested in it because it also has a lot of parallels with our game, and it makes me nervous. Which is it's that diving game. I think I showed it a couple times to you.
I know what you're talking about for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So which one was this?
It's called Abzu, ABZU. It's by the guy. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. It's like our game but without the flying. And like it's different. It's a bit more linear. It's like Journey actually, but like more about.
Has it just come out, or is it?
Yeah.
Released it
Came
out.
Came out like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It kind of came out of nowhere for me. I was looking.
Oh, right. Sorry, I've just realised why it looks like Journey, because it's from the art director of Journey.
Guy. Yes. Okay.
I wonder why. So one of the let's see, am I sharing my screen? Hopefully I am. Yeah, I am. Cool. Oh, slide. Cool. So one of the things we really learned from those tendrils, not that just if there's more to say there, then let's go back to it. Sorry, I was just gonna hop back on the game.
About me?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Eric.
No, I mean, he's got this stone arm thing, which is like for controlling drones and stuff, but that's about it. Anyway, so I'm just drawn.
Eric, what are you working on? It's a surprise.
Yep.
So lame.
Steve changing the art style, guys. It's a new.
Going pastel Easter look.
It's a first-person shooter now. Look at this.
Before we move on too far, John M is actually wanting what your individual thoughts are on Abzu are. What do you think?
Oh, me? Or
Well,
anyone?
is anyone?
I haven't played it yet.
So I can comment on a little bit.
Oh, is it on PC?
Dude, okay, like, oh man, okay, so like the way they did those fish, just from a technical standpoint, is super cool. Now, all I've seen from the actual game, like watching someone play, is that I was at QuakeCon at BYOC, and the person next to me was playing it, but their computer was terrible, so it was at like 15 frames per second, and I just told them to stop playing because it made me sad.
Oh.
Because nobody should play Abzu at 480p on 15 frames per second.
Oh.
Like,
Maybe they were going for like lo-fi research.
huh?
Like I've done that. Like I've played Dark Souls at that low, but that's
Oh,
like
gosh.
intentionally because
Don't.
I want to get like that lo-fi look, and I'm doing some research
Oh,
there. You know.
no. Okay, all right.
But I can comment on Abzu a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Put your headphone on.
If hey y'all.
Hey, Al.
So I played a tiny little bit of it. It's really gorgeous. Obviously, it's gonna be really gorgeous. And yeah, it's the same art director as Journey, so it shares a lot of similarities there. And I don't really consider that a bad thing. In a lot of ways, it felt very much like Underwater Journey. I think some of the bigger things for me, just as a game designer, and especially working in your space, is that they've tackled water, and obviously like that's their subject matter, right? But they've tackled some problems that we've been looking at with our water in really interesting ways. So I think that there's there are a few things that I think I can learn from it just by playing it. You know, the way that they juice the water, the way that they make like reflections work, or just little things that make it extra pretty. One of the big things that they did that I hadn't really thought about was actually when you're underwater and you look up into the sky from underwater.
Yeah.
The way the sun like creates that like hot spot in the middle and stuff.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was really, really nice. And so there's a lot to learn from them.
So honestly, sorry.
I was going to say, especially looking at improving the water in the future.
Yeah.
It's one of the areas that we haven't spent as much time
Well,
as I think any of us want.
So my big one, and I can't hear anyone in the chat, so sorry if I'm talking over someone, is that like not even just water, but the way that they handled specifically flocking, like that they were able to render that many fish on screen in the way that they did is like super inspiring. And the big thing our game's been missing for a while is huge flocks of birds, which were actually in our Kickstarter demo, but they just weren't performant enough. So as we kind of scaled up, we kind of had to cut them out. I've really been just inspired by Abzu, been looking into like solutions to get huge flocks of just I so badly want to be flying around here and just have like 200 birds just swarming around, because like, oh man, I'm gonna find a way. Let
me just say one more thing, and then I'll go back to sculpting.
Yeah, go for it.
Headphone back. But I think one of the other things that I would really love to see underwater in our game is god rays and those kinds of like kind of radial rays and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mostly because I can think of a few really cool things that I really want to do with it, and I just haven't sat down to actually implement it yet. But one of the thoughts that I had is I can actually, because our game is radial from the center, right? So water's round, so we can break it out, right? So it's actually relatively easy for us to do that. But the other thing is that, dude, we could make underwater like auroras and things. And I haven't seen that anywhere, and I really, really want to.
That's a great phrase.
Yeah, right. Doesn't that sound like, ugh, thank you. So I'm excited about doing that, and I'm going to give it a shot, and I don't know where it's going to be yet, but I'll let you guys know as it's being developed. Anyway, back to you, Tyler.
Okay.
So
You can put them on my
actually
ears for
question
me?
is based on what you were saying. Was there a point back? I think it was back during the Kickstarter where maybe I think it was the concept art where you had the sun was in the center of the world, and that seems to have phased out this part. So
Yeah.
how is your plans for lighting in the world? 'Cause you had
So it's interesting. Steve and I have actually had this conversation recently, and actually I ended up thinking about it more because of Abzu. Like, actually, Steve, like literally, what I was gonna say is literally that shot, like some of the shots in the trailer, looking up to the sky. I was like, oh shit! Like, I mean, excuse me, like man, like how are we gonna do light? You know, because that's a big part of being underwater. It's really cool, and so we don't really have. We initially, in the first iteration of the game, had a big glowing orb in the center of the planet as the light source, and the problem was that people would beeline towards it and just run into it, and at the time it was just a spherical collider, so they would just ram into the middle of the planet and then go do something else, but like that first 5 minutes was them just flying towards the middle and then like hitting this ball. So we thought, okay, well, light source in the middle of the planet, probably not a good idea. Also, really hard to explain. Like, we haven't really set up this universe to be a place where these bubbles just kind of exist with, like, you know, nuclear fireballs in the center. But we do have a concept of energy, and we do have different things, so I can't really give you a specific answer now, but basically, in different worlds, we've been thinking of basically having different major things emit light. Like in the crab world, for example, we have this fungus, and we're thinking about potentially having the central core sort of emitting light when you get there. So it sort of looks, you know, like when you shine a light through your hand, that kind of translucency effect. That might be what it's like when you look at it, and it might be, you know, casting like a glow around the world, something like that.
what's that
yeah.
called? Because that's was it speculative occlusion? No.
Like subsurface scatter. I mean, it's not subsurface.
It is subsurface scattering, yeah.
Steve knows.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a question.
What is it?
They're just talking about what that lighting is. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's. I actually totally forgot about people ramming into it. I do think we actually actively also have some plans for lighting this planet specifically. So that's the ideas for the fungus. One of them is, gosh, I don't think do we have the sunfish prefabbed without missing materials?
No.
Okay. I think that's something that we will actually be talking about a fair amount during our next stream, actually.
Yeah.
Because we're likely going to start talking about the tutorial world, where we actually have a whole planet dedicated to, like, kind of, you have to play through before you get to the whole game, like to the open world, like the really, really open world, just so that we can kind of do a Mega Man styled, like you have to do this to get past this, and kind of sequence a little bit more tutorial.
Kind of like in Dark Souls?
Kind of like in Dark Souls.
I'll stop. I need a change jar.
Kind of like in every game with a good tutorial.
Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm really, really, really glad you bring that up, because that's something we're going to talk a lot about, probably a fair amount during the next stream. So we'll be sure to like have some great answers and stuff.
So please come back.
Please come back. Don't leave us.
I've got a question, if because I've had this one on my mind for a while now, so I will keep asking these questions.
Yeah, go for it.
No, it's fine.
So, we noticing as you've been playing through this, these sort of gust of wind lines? Are they mechanical, or are they entirely just superficial?
What do you mean by mechanical?
So,
as in, do they affect the plane in any way, or do they just look nice?
So as of right now, they're entirely just cosmetic. They were kind of our way of Steve kind of added them in on a whim of just like people need to be flying these paths and adding in some guides to like, you see the wind flowing here. All right, I'm probably gonna like, oh, a little wind here. I'm probably gonna try to fly around it, kind of like that.
It also hints at corners a lot better than
Yeah.
like
Now, I do really want to add a boost that you get whenever you fly nearby them. So
that'd be cool.
that is very likely going to happen. Yeah. So it will probably become some form of mechanical. Probably not like a huge, like central like game system or anything like that, but it will definitely become something that affects you in a more physical way. Or one of the things I kind of want to also do is kind of like, if it's on a corner like that, if you fly nearby the gust of wind, have it kind of assist you in turning that angle so it's easier to fly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to show off real quick, actually.
Because look, can I just say before you show on to the next thing, Summer Howard has just drawn a fan art of the crab, or Crabbo, and it's just put it on YouTube.
Summer's the best. She made bread. She made bread for us today, actually.
There's a hangout, the link if you want to show up on the screen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh crap.
How do I copy this?
The hangout in the link. Sorry, it's the link in the hangout.
Aww. It's a little. Oh, I'm gonna pause the game so I don't run into a wall anymore. It's a little baby crab.
Trying to get you character. Oh, I like that she did a draw over of it, kind of like. Oh no, she didn't. She just referenced the colors. That's really cute.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that could be a companion. Okay.
All right, Summer, go 3D model it for us. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Free karma for you. YouTube stream gold for you. I don't know what this is. So I'm just gonna go down the list of things I was gonna show off during the stream. So one of the things that we kind of learned from the tendrils, the little ninja cutty things I was showing off earlier, is that slow-mo just makes doing things super awesome.
Especially when you're moving all the time.
So guys, bullet time, right? No, there's no bullet time. So you'll see I actually have it turned off right now. So whenever I'm gonna go grab a relic right now, and whenever I grab the relic, you'll notice that it works the way it's always worked, which is to say that you kind of just pick it up. So when I grab this, you get those special sounds. Oh goodness. Special music. You get the shiny laser beam things that kind of transfer the relic from the world space to your plane. And then let me hop into my code and then like uncomment this one line of code. Where'd it go? This. Oh. Cool. All right. And then let me airspace. And not those saves. All right. And this is what it's like once I have slow-mo on for the relics. And I promise, I really love it because one, it just lets the camera kind of like dwell on like those laser beam things. It just feels really cool. We're also want to play around with like modifying camera angles during it, which I actually have a little storyboard. Oh, I forgot to show your drawings earlier, Eric. I'm sorry about
that. It's probably okay. I mean, unless people want to see what the fungus might look like.
Yeah, I'll hop into that before we end the stream, just to show that. So now, whenever you pick up a relic, it's actually going to. Let me full screen this. It's actually going to go slow-mo here, so when I grab it, you'll see it kind of drags on that a little bit there. Which is really nice, too, because we tend to put a lot of the relics in really dangerous spots, so it kind of gives you this moment to, like, have slow-mo and better react to the space you're in. So if I go... Goodness. Oh, alright. If I go back for the one in the center here... Wait. It kind of gives me a second to line my plane up here and more easily exit that space. Oh, goodness. I still hit the wall, but regardless. Yeah, so we're trying not to abuse it too much. I probably have a little... I have it on there a little heavy, probably.
Oh, yeah. I just saw it. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool, though.
Yeah.
It almost... Sorry, just sort of initial looking at this. It almost seems like it's... the slow-mo is being activated before you get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of like as you grab it. We're also using them on the ropes here, which... Here, it feels a little bit less like slow-mo and a little bit more like impact to things. So like as I hit it, it kind of stutters a tiny bit, and then it kind of stutters as you break the ropes. So that's probably a little bit more of a subtle use there. It just kind of gives things a little bit of weight to them. But yeah, it kind of happens like right as you hit the trigger, which is to say that the animation takes a little bit to start playing. So That's actually, I'm glad you pointed that out because I actually hadn't noticed that. So it actually would probably be smart to delay it by like 0.1 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I think just because of the way it times the animation and turning off the actual object.
Yeah, yeah. Then definitely something. Wait, it's like here.
I think the ropes. It's cool. What's interesting about the ropes is they actually already have kind of a draw effect on them. I guess as I'm like drawing a string, right? Because they kind of bend a little.
Mhm.
But I think the slow-mo element will really come in once you see birds like flocking around you and you cut stuff, because like everything will slow down at that point. So it's very hard to evaluate at the moment, but I think it could be really cool. Right? Because like right now you're cutting in the air, at least as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and it's something that's definitely gonna take a lot of tweaking because something like slow mo very easily just becomes like too actiony and too like I don't know. It can very easily.
Well, it's very it makes things feel relatively gratuitous
Yeah.
and like sort of like, yeah, look at this cool thing you did. So we should, at least I think what we should do is if you do multiple things that trigger slow motion in the same 30-second span, we should trigger like electric guitar riffs.
City Escape starts playing from Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. Just look at those clouds. Oh my gosh, that looks so nice. Clouds.
Goodness. Hitting walls, hitting lots of walls. Goodness. Yeah, so I think it's the majority of what we wanted to show for the stream. We were going to try to keep this kind of around an hour, so I would probably just talk to you guys a little bit more. The metal song with the wings. Oh, yeah, thank you. John, I'm just talking about the little wing flap sounds that play whenever you rotate the plane. Actually, you know what? Because he brought that up, I'm actually going to fly to this ice world real quick, because the ice world, they change a little bit. And I'm going to show you those.
Right, by the way, Steve, I see that you changed the colors a little on the inside. It looks really nice. It's like a nice kind of baked pottery kind of feel. Yeah.
Are you talking about
Oh, man. No, I'm talking about the world space. For some reason, maybe my colors are just off when I play, but...
Yeah, remember a while ago you asked if we could make the stone more white?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
we actually listened to you.
Oh, good. Hey.
Oh gosh, everything's purple. Let's see what Steve's up to. It's
Actually,
yellow.
I just color sampled the stream for my painting. I hope you're happy.
So here, oh, it didn't change. Is it broken? Oh, I think it's broken. Oh. Well, the ice world sounds are different and sound prettier, but they're broken. Yes. Next stream, I guess. Let's add that to my list of a million things to do.
Sorry, folks.
Fix ice world sounds. Sad face. Alright. Game development. What are you guys up to? Let's see what you guys are working on here. What's Steve? What you make? What you making? Is it Pikachu? Oh.
It's Pikachu.
It's Pikachu!
Who's that Pokemon?
I'm pretty sure that's the same material which your Swiss cheese is made out of, isn't it?
The what?
No, it's not, but it's close. It's using some of the same tech.
Oh, nice.
By the way, it's also worth noting that our material that we use for a lot of our fog and clouds tends to look not so great over streams because the way that it compresses pixels.
They actually look quite good this time, I thought.
I haven't looked at the YouTube stream.
Oh.
So it might look really great on the YouTube stream.
Okay.
I'm also using a slightly better downsampling. Questionable. But so yeah, I think I actually need to make a. I think I'm realizing this about a lot of the games is that we need to make a setting for the game that actually like puts it into like streamer mode, if that makes sense. Like it's just like there's a lot of things about games that like work really well when you're playing it, but they don't work so well whenever you're streaming the game. Like there's sort of motion blurs and camera shakes that just don't look good whenever you're streaming a video game. And I think it'd be really good if more developers, including us, were adding the like streamer mode that like has considerations for that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But
then you get into like this weird philosophical discussion about like what streamers are actually showing. It's like if they're not showing how the game actually looks, what are people buying?
Well, the idea is though is that like if what they're showing does not if the stream does not convey what they're playing well, because it's being misrepresented through data compression.
Yeah. Yeah.
In which case, your goal is to make it a setting for the game that makes the game show better the way that it's being viewed in person, but over data compressed streams.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I like it. I'm just being devil's advocate. I can't turn it off. I'm sorry.
No, I'm suddenly being reminded. I have no idea where it's from. I think it was someone I was following on Twitch. On Twitter, sorry. They came up with the buzzword: "Is your game Twitch playsable?" Is your game able to be played via the Twitch Plays
By democracy.
XXX?
Whoa, what happened there, Steve?
I'm trying to find a shader that's already set up for what I want.
What are you trying to make? Trying to make a fog?
No,
Are you gonna do the?
Yeah.
You can do it.
I think so.
You can do the thing.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, you better finish it up quick. Let's just wrap up soon.
No, it's busted.
It is super.
Is that the Aurora? You're doing the Aurora?
No,
Oh.
You
I
do
can't.
Oh
I'm
god,
gonna, yeah.
I want him to finish what he's doing. Was it my idea from yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, I miss all the cool things.
Yeah, you need to move to Dallas already.
Uh,
Because everyone wants to live in Dallas. I love Dallas. I miss Florida a little bit though. I miss Florida.
oh.
Oh, we all miss home.
And then, oh. Anywho, so, you guys have any more questions, or?
Yeah.
Suggestion from 2Bs is the automatically mute or pause of loss of focus. I suppose that's something to think about, because there's something going on with antiviruses where it'll remove focus from a game, but although there are options for that in certain games where you can set it to mute in background or not.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so it's
Well, it's in 2Bs from YouTube, sorry.
yeah. Well, so ideally though on Cheese, I forget what your original username actually is. You said it earlier. What was it? I forget. Regardless. Yeah, is that our game does require attention, like constant attention, but at the same time, if you lose focus, we'll probably like pause the game. I hope we do. I think it already does actually. That if you tab out, the plane, like everything just freezes. It suspends.
It's a good suggestion, though, like, if we don't have that, then...
Yeah, like, I actually didn't realize that was a problem. I wonder if you guys actually know any resources, anyone, like, blogs that have, like, done, like, a list of, like, game developer no-nos and yes-yeses for streamers. Also, this is some of the drawovers that Eric did for the Fungus World. So what you guys saw earlier was a really rough, not really rough, but what a prototype looks like for us, at least. A regular prototype. So what we'll tend to do is we'll prototype it using ProBuilder to get this rough geometry so it's playable, so we can kind of do proof of concept. And then Eric Grossman will do drawovers, which kind of show a little bit more of what it should actually look like.
Yeah, they prevent Steve from going insane.
But they can also make Steve go a little insane sometimes. So
If it's less insane than you may have gone otherwise, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, but also like what we were talking about earlier, we're wanting to do a better job at like using kind of cinematic things. Eric Grossman did this little storyboard for us, where you can kind of see we're wanting to make these little switches that you like hit and then they like slap down onto the ground. So it's kind of like those little like inflatable things where like you punch them and they like kind of hit the ground after you hit them, but like big metal sticks that make slap sounds. And we're wanting to do stuff for like if you hit something to open a door, instead of like doing a special cutscene. So instead of doing a special cutscene where like it just cuts away, like actually rotating the camera around the plane, you can see in the top row here that the perspective changes to the right side of the plane, so it kind of pivots around it to show like what just happened because of what you just did. Doing a slightly more like cinematic kind of camera. But yeah, also John M asked if we got new office. We totally did. This is going to be really loud, so I'm going to apologize for this, but I'm going to. Oh goodness, I'm going to mute my mic for a few seconds here while I pick up the camera here because I'm using my webcam mic.
Ooh.
Going on Twitter.
Well, this is the really fun part, because in Hangout, we can hear you making these sounds, but can't see it until like 2 minutes when we can see it on YouTube.
Well, I'm on a phone. I can't see YouTube at all, so I'm just like wondering what's going on.
So that's the office. We're all in one room, so we're all just like we're throwing stuff at each other, you know. And yeah, we're actually like we rented out some surplus space in a existing business to get an office nice and cheap because like we're indie and we have to get cheap office spaces. But yeah, we're on the third floor, the administrative floor of a hospital, actually. So we're actually located inside of a hospital's administrative like area, um, which like it's super affordable because it's just an office they weren't using. Um, but like I don't know, it feels a little indie. Like I kind of like it. Like we're in like for having just gotten an actual office, it's about I don't know, kind of about as indie as an actual office can get, which is like it's kind of like the law firm that exists in the back of like a nail salon kind of thing. Like
Disclaimer:
so,
we are not. Disclaimer: we are not lawyers and we are not registered beauticians.
yeah. Oh, that's right. I was gonna do. I told myself I was gonna do this in the middle of the stream because I've been doing this while I work. Whoosh. My fancy hair with my headband on my headphones. Back to it. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys got any other questions. This is also this is actually a little fan art a friend of mine drew of our game. It's like a little PolyKnight. It's cute. I've had it on my wallpaper for a while. But yeah. So
I have a question.
what's up?
Yes.
Kind of selfish since I'm one of the backers at that level, but I'm curious to know if you've had any thought into like the ships that people have, like the different ships. Like obviously your ship has these two wings that are on the side that'll be slicing through
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff, and I know well mine's covered in like just pointy objects. Does anyone have a ship that would pose a problem to the current game elements?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of thoughts on that. One of them could actually be that one of the thoughts I've had, and also just before I even dive into like the concerns of that, one of the reasons we haven't started on the companions or the planes yet is that a lot of times we've done something really early on in development, and then like halfway through realize that like we've made a terrible mistake, and like because things change as things develop. So we're kind of trying our best to like rear end the planes as much as possible. So like it will definitely get done, but it's also going to be one of the last things we do because we want to make sure that we don't accidentally make them crappy in the process of development. So one of the thoughts that comes there is that there's kind of a few approaches we could do, and it's actually something I kind of want to run through the people that we're making the planes for to see like what their thoughts are on it. Obviously, like we have to do something that's good for the game because like you know like if we wind up doing
Game
like
comes first.
yeah, well, because like if we wind up doing like Steam Workshop and something like that at some point, like the big thing is that like the people that backed us, like your plane is in everyone's game. And ideally, like everyone's probably gonna want the like best plane that like everyone uses all the time because like it's your plane and that's super cool. Is that I kind of want to try to design the planes to be each uniquely good at something, so it's not just like a cosmetic flair to where it's just like oh I'm flying this one because it looks cool. So like if one of them's missing wings and like maybe it doesn't cut things, maybe that's kind of its gimmick. Like maybe it isn't very good at cutting things, but maybe it has a really good high speed and a very good low speed, so it's really good at maneuvering spaces. So it might be like the right ship for like picking up relics that are hard to get, but it may not be the right one
That's
for
kinda
like,
cool.
interacting with things. Or one of them might have really good underwater controls, but really terrible above water controls. So
And it'd be relatively easy to switch probably. So it's not like you have to laboriously go and find the other
yeah.
one.
And actually, specifically for your plane, actually, one of the things I was thinking is actually creating, like, when you're above water, maybe, like, not having anything on it, and then it's mostly, like, it's better at controlling it certain things. But I was also thinking maybe above water and underwater that, like, there's, like, a jet stream of, like, a gust of wind or, like, water whenever you go really fast in it, so you can, like, have this, like kind of whenever you see, like, the air distortion coming off of things breaking the sound barrier, like kind of have that spawn off of it when you hit a certain speed, so it like cuts stuff if you go max speed. That was the one thought I had, which is I just thought that sounded just cool factor, Destiny style, just like radical explosions and stuff, you know. But,
I'm all for explosions.
gosh, oh yeah, totally though, Lena. Lena said in the chat is being in the office helps us get distracted less. It's a little 50-50 because we're a little distracted by each other, but it's also kind of a little bit of like team building kind of stuff. But yeah, like being at my house, I don't get distracted by like doing things around the house or like running errands or sleeping in. Like when I show up late, I am reminded by the fact that people got here before me that I started work late instead of like being in my own house where I just wake up and roll out of my bed and get to the desk at any time. So it's yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons, but we've actually definitely been working a lot faster, and definitely I think the big thing is communication. Is that we've been communicating a lot better. I think a lot of the actions that we've taken in the office have been more coherent as a group and as a team, being together.
Even like, even though I'm not there per se, like I think it's having a side effect of like we can meet more easily just with different people who have opinions on things, and also like just in general I feel more like I feel like keeping up more because I know that people are doing things faster. So it's like kind of a nice side effect for me to get them not there.
Yours is colorful, Steve. Or Eric. Yours is really colorful.
That's what I'm going for.
Sorry, what's up? Get talking over you.
So no, I've just got a sort of question about other games and other gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
More recently, I think was it Get Out of Hell and Just Cause 3. Playing those more recently, and it made me think about flight mechanics. Because Just Cause 3 can practically fly infinitely with its wingsuit now, and then Get Out of Hell, the Saints Row game, has a very tight and quite difficult actually flight mechanic with its wings. And just trying to think what your thoughts are on different flight mechanics. What's your favourite? What inspired you? That type of thing.
Our inspiration, our first one has definitely been, at least for me, has been Crimson Skies. I absolutely adore that game's flight mechanics. It's just really good feel. If you play through Crimson Skies, we're definitely very much our own thing, but you'll definitely see a lot of resemblances there. As far as just speed and like turn radiuses go, I pulled a fair amount from that. Just being my favorite flying game. Although, like, one of the things what was that game that we played where it was like you play like a paper plane and you're like flying through these loops and it's like these procedural towers coming out of nowhere. Do you remember what that was called, Steve?
Oh, that's Race to the Sun, isn't it?
No, not Race to the Sun. Although Race to the Sun is also really great. It's like Race to the Sun, but like 3D, not like on a plane. It's I don't remember what it's called. I wish Tosh was here. Regardless, it has a very weird. I wouldn't mimic their flight controls, but it had a really weird flight control to it, and it kind of got me thinking that it'd be really fun to potentially even have a lot of the like backer planes have unique control schemes potentially where they have a very different feel about them. Just like one of the things I was thinking is like one of the things right now is that when you stall the plane, I can actually kind of boot this up real quick and just show it. I guess probably the fastest way. That's a really good question, actually. Is that I think that like we kind of already have a good control scheme, although I think the camera is going to evolve a little bit as far as how we show the space around the player. That we definitely have like the core like main way the game's going to fly, but I think that a lot of the backer planes we're going to try our best to have a very unique feel to them, so it feels like you're actually flying something different, not just a skinned variant of the main plane, you know? So like in inner space, I'm going to mute the audio. Is like when you try to go left and right, it's really slow, really slow. I think it's actually accelerated a fair amount right now because it's in the developer mode. It's fully upgraded already. It's pretty slow, but when you go up and down, it's a lot faster. Like that's a significantly faster turn radius. So what you'll tend to do is if you want to go right like this, you'll rotate the plane and then tilt up that way, and then rotate the plane and tilt up that way instead of doing this because it's very slow. But then we have the stall, which allows you to make those turns a lot faster. And gives you a boost. But like one of the things I was potentially thinking is like one of the backer planes could have like a turn radius left and right on the yaw axis that is as fast as the up and down, which would really dramatically change the way that plane feels. As simple as that, because with this plane you have to kind of either rely on rotating or stalling to make a lot of maneuvers. But if you don't have
my head, I'm picturing a four-winged plane now, like in a
like an X-wing kind of, or like something that's like spherically based or something like that. I'm not sure. It's a lot of the planes, like a Bloody Bane's plane, I'm looking forward to because pretty much the only thing he gave us is that he wants it to like have a dark theme about it. But as far as like what it actually looks like, he left it to us, which I'm really sort of excited about that because that's going to be just like, fun to come up with.
A dark theme, like
yeah,
I was just sorry.
Yeah, like kind of gothic kind of feels like we didn't know what he wanted,
okay.
like color scheme wise.
Like, maybe it'll just be like an evil horse and buggy.
Like ghost rider kind of horse thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, I'm down for some weird stuff. Like, because I mean, the worst case is with a lot of the backer planes, if it feels, because we're gonna try our best to make them feel like they're part of like the game's canon, that like they belong in this world. But if someone wants something that feels really out of place, I don't think we're too opposed to that. It's just gonna be something that you'll have to unlock through like beating the game, so that like you get it as a reward for like having completing it, not something that's found like in the game's like world space. You know, like as far as like I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of like at the end of God of War, Steve always brings up like some of the unlocks and skins that you get for Kratos are like kind of hilarious and like kind of like bring you out of the game a little bit, like immersion wise. But because you get them after you've already beaten the game, it's kind of okay to do that, you know. So I think with the backer planes, we're gonna try our best to make everything fit in. But if it's not gonna fit in, then we'll kind of do it a little bit more that way, where it's okay because you've already beaten the game. But then you know we can do whatever then. So
just so people know, how many backer planes are there?
that's a great question. I totally forget it, actually. I'm just gonna pull up the Kickstarter page.
There's 3 of them.
Uh,
Actually, well, there's 3 who've got the custom plane pledge. Do any of the other higher pledges have the custom plane, or is it just those?
I believe with the higher pledges, we kept them kind of separated. There's a point to where you get everything up to that point, and then beyond there, you kind of get your tiers special thing. Partially because we just like if we had to do like a companion for everyone that got a plane and all that, it would have gotten a little. It would have become a little bit of a hindrance to us actually like completing the game if we had to do like 30 custom companions or like you know like 50 custom statues. I should probably know this number. Okay, so like for the custom statues, we have 4 backers. For the canvas print, we have 5 backers. Let's see here. Custom companion, we only have 1 backer actually, and I know who that is. He's a friend of ours. So no one did the 3D model, the 3D printed model of the plane, and I'm actually really glad about that because if a fair amount of people did it, it would have been pretty good. But if like 1 person did it, it would have been really annoying to get a single 3D model print of something, or just would have been difficult because the more you do the so okay, we have 3 custom planes. I think one of them is actually a family members of ours because we have.
They don't get it. I mean,
Oh, that's huh?
That's good. That's gonna get for now.
Okay. Yeah, one of them is actually Nick Adams, one of our 3D modelers. It's actually, I think one of those is actually his mom, and and she's like was like, oh, you don't have to do it, it's fine. I really want us to 3D model a 3D model of him, like just a flying Nick Adams with like cloth physics beard, and that would probably be like a secret unlockable that involves some developer cheat code or something because that'd be so out of place. But I'll be darned, that sounds
It's
really
in there.
fun.
Yeah. There's a question here from two loft bees. Actually, it's 2 loft bees. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Valiant Cheese is asking what version of Unity you're running, and do you try to keep up to date with the updates, or are you sticking with a specific version to keep it stable?
Yeah, we keep up to date for the most part. There will definitely be a point very soon where we have to stop updating our Unity just because it can cause problems. But since we're since we still have a ways to go, we're kind of keeping up to date. So we just updated this week actually. So we are in 5.4, 5.4.0 F3. So we are in the newest version of Unity right now, unless they've released a new F for the small bug fixes. But yeah, so we are in the newest version of Unity. One of the things we really love about 5.4 is that they introduced some really good optimizations for particles. And I'm actually thinking that what I'm going to do is for the birds, I actually want to create a whole bird system and then plug in their values into the particle system and effectively drive them through a particle system. And then like you can do 3D meshes and stuff in particles, but like I think 5.4 is threads particle rendering, and I think that's going to be a really awesome and convenient solution for us to be able to do a lot of birds. So yeah, we're on the newest version. We're really trying to use the new stuff they're giving us as they give it to us.
Oh my! Sorry, as a person who has been doing development recently and learned it for the first time, Shuriken really upset me when I came to it for the first time. How is the new particle system?
It's better. So we have Particle Playground, which is like the really popular replacement asset store asset for Unity's particle system. having both of them at all points, each of them has been better at certain things, and I kind of just switch between them depending on which effect I'm creating. Because Shuriken Unity's particle system is really great at a few things, and then there's the Particle Playground 2, which has a lot of cool new features like Perlin noise and disturbances and lots of like force calculations, but it doesn't have some of the really basic features that Shuriken has. So I think there's certain effects that like our wind particles, so like these little yellow dots that are flying over the screen, those are in Particle Playground because they have a really nice like noise about them you can use to get some nice air atmospheric particles. But a lot of the more basic ones, like the particles around the plane there, that's just a Unity. Like the whenever you're absorbing energy there, that's just a Unity shuriken. I think it's fine. It's not super easy to work with. There's actually one YouTube series, I forget what it's called, but he like recreated some of the like Wind Waker particle effects and stuff in Unity's stock particle system. I think he did a really good job at showcasing how you can use shuriken to do some pretty complicated particle effects. It just often it doesn't make it super easy in a lot of ways, but it is pretty powerful. But I haven't used Unreal a lot, so I'm not sure what to compare it to, honestly. Because the other engines I've worked with before this are like Love 2D and a bunch of like kind of building your own engine styled like rendering pipeline stuff. We haven't worked in a lot of. I guess Steve's worked in a lot of Unreal. I haven't touched it a lot. Oh yeah, so let's show what you guys have been working on. I think you guys are probably in a good spot. Steve,
mine's pretty. I haven't painted in a long time. I'm pretty rusty, so.
Well, should get your line work. Throw that shit on darken. Pardon my French. Sorry.
What?
Oh, I got some fun.
Yeah, looking a bit like a macaw parrot.
All right, I'm showing your screen with a beautiful frame rate.
Oh, I can't do that.
And then also we'll tweet all these online. And,
So Steve, what's the idea that you had that I missed, Tyler?
Oh, well, I guess. Do you want me to pitch it, or did you get it working, or? Did you...
I've got it kind of working. It's not as good as I want it, but like I've only spent like 10 minutes on it.
We'll show it, and then we'll.
Okay, I'm watching.
All right, watch.
Oh.
So the
Nice.
So, oh god, frame rate is beautiful. We'll go ahead and plan on tweeting and probably linking in the description a better video of this. We'll capture it and we'll post it on Twitter and in the description of the YouTube video that gets uploaded. So the idea that we had actually is, so we have this material shader that we made for kelp where it like kind of glows and grows towards you. I kind of really love the idea of putting that on, like if we did an entire floor of an area that's covered in algae that kind of glows and goes towards you, like the floor itself does.
I'd be into that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's what Steve's been working on, and we'll post a bunch of stuff of that. And then we have Eric. Ooh,
yeah.
Infinite.
So I've been watching a lot of Trigun lately with my girlfriend. So I think that's where the red coat. Huh?
Sorry, I just Tyler's stream just then. Did that just go into infinite?
Oh, I clicked on my own screen. Yeah, sorry. I just did the infinite thing. That's silly, but whatever.
Sorry. Correction, my girlfriend's been showing me Trigun. She wanted me to give her credit. And so that's where the red coat came from. In my defense, we also have red cloth throughout the game, so it's just gonna happen. So yeah, that's what I've been working on.
And then we'll post all that online. And then, of course, if anyone makes any fan art of our game, we will post it everywhere because we're super humbled anytime someone makes things of our game. So feel free to one-up us. Yeah, we love being one-upped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll put a cap on this. Next stream, we'll be talking about the hub world, most likely. Or not the hub world, the tutorial planet. And then probably even diving into some of our ideas we have for additional planets that we're working on. Yeah, it's got a lot of really neat ideas in the pipeline for the hub, for the tutorial world, be it the way that we're doing the light source or what have you. We got some really neat stuff happening, or that we're working on right now, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. And then, of course, in 2 weeks, we'll be posting what we did these last 2 weeks, this last sprint is what we call it, in the Google form. So if you guys aren't in the form, get in there. I think all you guys are, though. And I think we missed this last one, actually, because we had to cancel the meeting due to QuakeCon and a bunch of other stuff. But regardless, we'll be posting an update there in 2 weeks about Cool. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any other
Thanks for
questions
coming,
before we call it? You guys have any other questions before we adjourn?
None for me.
Well, cool. Awesome. I'll call it then, since the chat room is silent, at least as far as I can tell. But yeah, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be keeping this up every month, as always. Kickstarter updates are doing a lot more fluent. Eric Brody, our marketing guy, who posts all the Kickstarter updates and all that, actually just went full-time this Thursday. He finally quit his day job, which is super exciting because he's had that day job like on and off through high school. So it's like super exciting that like he's getting to do full-time like game
Hooray, life
development.
events.
Yeah. Wait. Go away, Akil. Akil in the chat room said, I have a beard, I must be working on Linux, or something like that, regardless. But yeah, it's getting long. Next thing you know, I'll be writing in Perl, and I'll be, oh man, yeah, playing Dwarf Fortress exclusively.
Please don't go on your Pearl rant. We're public streaming. Thank you.
I don't have a Perl rant, actually. Sadly.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Akil probably does, though. Akil programmed with us for a while. We actually have a lot of his code in the game still, so Akil's awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to join this. Thank you for being here, everyone. We'll try to give you guys a little bit more of a heads up next time. I think we gave you guys like a 20-minute heads up. That was pretty short, so sorry about that. I'll try to do an hour next time. It's just been a busy day, so.
Give us like a day. Say hello. Whatever we'll be doing tomorrow. Give everyone a reminder.
yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, I think the Kickstarter update mentioned something briefly about it, but I think we need to kind of like big headline, like streams tomorrow kind of vibe on the Kickstarter updates.
We can all tweet it as well.
Yeah, we can all tweet it, post it in the forum, because everyone gets an email. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put a sticky note on my wall right now telling me to give you guys a better notice, because otherwise I'll forget. But cool, yeah, so that's it. That's been the PolyKnights of the Roundtable
Oh boy.
monthly stream development log progress chat hangout of August.
Hang on. It can't be a round table if you're PolyKnights. Then
It's
there's circles in.
dodecahedron.
It's okay. Well, it's like Flatland, where like the noblest of the shapes has so many sides that it's hard to tell that it's not round. Like it's just has that many faces. So in really good tessellation, really good tessellation. We're the high PolyKnights of the round table. So yeah, awesome. I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. That's it for the stream. Love you guys.
All right, see you guys.
See you next month.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks for the
joining us.
invite.